Hey kiddos, I miss you. I hope you guys are doing good with the sub. I know we've done the atomic theory of how scientists have thought atoms have changed over time, and I know you've done your Quizlet. So now we're going to kind of put everything together and talk about atoms and molecules and elements, the difference between them, what they look like. So hopefully you have your ISN open, and we are going to be writing on the right side. Take your own notes. I'll kind of give hints like before of what you should write down. But a good student always interacts with their notes, so they red, yellow, green, and things like that. I'll try to make some diagrams, but and help you out here with like what molecules and atoms look like. If I go too fast, you can always watch this again. I'll put it on Schoology. You can go through your notes again, and obviously when I get back, I'll try to repeat it a few times and do a couple examples in a station lab. So today, remember your goals kind of get to a yellow in your understanding. So we're going to talk about atoms, molecules, elements, the parts of an atom, memory tricks, and all of that. So right now you're going to take notes in your ISN. I know you also can download the PowerPoint. You can interact with both, but I would like to see notes in your ISN. So our goal today is to understand what an atom is and know what it's made out of. Structure is talking about what something looks like. So click. I won't go to the next one. There you go. Oh, my face is in the way. Whoop. Okay, so atoms are something like this. Okay, there's more to it than that, but they have protons, neutrons, and electrons. Protons, neutrons, and electrons. And I'll help you with what that means here in a second. There we go. Whee! Atoms are the basis of chemistry. They are the building blocks of all matter. So remember, what do we say? What's a sixth grader way to say matter? Stuff. Hopefully everyone just yelled that. But the sixth way to say matter is stuff. So atoms are the Legos of all stuff. What do I mean by that? I mean, you have a couple and they might make this the way they're arranged. They look like different things. How tightly packed they are, how spaced out they are, make stuff. Parts of an atom, like I said, are electrons, protons, and neutrons. I'm going to repeat that again. If I repeat it a lot, it's probably important. Electrons, protons, and neutrons. Okay, and you can kind of see them in the picture here. Electrons, protons, and neutrons. I'll explain these little symbols here in a second. Next. It won't click for me. Aw, I wonder why it's not working. Hopefully I don't have to start over here, people. That would be frustrating. There we go. Gotta move my pretty picture again. So parts of an atom. Protons, I kind of want this to go, there we go. So this is stuff you're going to want to write down. So make 3 columns. So you guys are going to want to do something like this. And label it protons, neutrons, and electrons. And then take some notes here. Remember, if I go too fast, you can always go back and watch this video again. So first of all, protons. They are positive charge. What letter do they both start with? Protons and positive. So I remember P and P. Protons are positive, protons are positive. Let's talk about their charge. There's positive, negatives, or neutral charges. Protons are positive. They are found in the nucleus. For now, we'll kind of say that is that center. I wish I could point to it on the screen, but I'm trying to show you with the arrow. That center is made out of protons and neutrons. So the center of the atom is protons and neutrons. That's what the nucleus is. The weight is 1 AMU. I'll talk about that more when we get back. Like we have inches and feet and all of that. To measure something extremely small in mass, it's called an AMU. Neutrons. So I'll wait just for a second. And I will pause like this while you guys write down this information about protons. I'll erase my board while you guys are copying this down. So parts of an atom. One part is called the proton. It's positive. It's found in the center, aka the nucleus. And its weight is very, very, very tiny. Neutrons are neutral. N and N. See? I'm trying to make it easier. Meaning they're not positive or negative. They're neutral. They are also found in the nucleus. Again, if you look at this picture down here, protons and neutrons make up that center part. And then there's outer rings. The weight is also extremely small. So again, I'll pause here while you guys write down the facts about neutrons. Maybe I'll sing Baby Shark in my head. Do 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 do. So I'm just giving you guys time to write this down. Hopefully you're writing down some of the memory tricks I've taught you. Remember, a good student adds more to their notes than just what the teacher says. Okay, you red, yellow, green, you circle, you cross things out, you write memory tricks, you draw some pictures, whatever works. Now electrons, my favorite, because I'm a science nerd and I have a favorite. Electrons are negatively charged. Negatively charged. They're found in the cloud around the nucleus, meaning outside the nucleus. And if you remember from the atomic theory, that cloud aspect came in later. So they're found outside the nucleus, not in that center. They're known to be on rings, and I'll explain that a little bit later. It has to do more with how things combine. Okay, just trying to get this to work here. It's a good time because you guys can... There, sorry. Be with me. And they weigh almost nothing, meaning they weigh less than these guys. They weigh so much less. When we talk about the mass of an atom, and we'll talk about that with the periodic table, they don't even include them. They're so small. They weigh almost nothing. So I'll let you guys write this down again. The parts of an atom: protons, neutrons, and electrons. No charges, know where they're found. Okay, next. Electron orbitals. The first word is electron, so we're talking about the things these electrons travel in. Okay, so these outer rings. We use Bohr's model when we are drawing a simplified picture. If that confuses you, look back to your atomic theory information with your timeline or that article. Sorry, I love technology. So the nucleus, the inside, hopefully it's a review, contains protons and neutrons. Contains protons and neutrons. The level 1, like little ring here, in level 1 means closest to the nucleus, can hold 2. That's it, 2 of those electrons. Level 2 can hold 8 electrons, and this will make way more sense in 9th grade science because we'll talk about elements combining and sharing bonds and stuff, and that all has to do with the electrons. For now, I want you to know the inner one holds 2. The outside can hold up to 16. Okay, so we'll talk about levels here in a second. And now my thing's being dumb again. Isn't this fun? Bear with me, you guys. There we go. Okay, so I'll let you guys do that screen. I'm not a huge deal about that. We'll talk later. I would say a happy atom wants 8. This thing's being so dumb, you guys. It won't change on me. I'm clicking. It's not clicking. I'm not going to restart, so you guys get to bear with me. We'll just go to the next slide like this. Element. So that was an atom. Okay. Atoms. So atom, molecule, and elements. The best way I can explain it is I'll draw a picture. An atom is singular. Okay. A molecule is a combination of atoms. They could be the same, like 2 H's. So this is atom. This is a molecule. Okay, it could be like H2O with hydrogen and oxygen. Trying to get green here. Okay, and there can even be multiple ones, like, and we'll do this. So the different colors are different types of atoms, like all the different letters on the periodic table. So an atom is one. Oops, backwards here. A molecule is a combination of atoms, and they can be the same, like this top guy, 2 of the same element, or they can be different, like where we had oxygen down here. And then you have a compound, okay? Okay, and we'll get to compounds later. I didn't want to go too much into it. Let's talk about elements. So the way atoms combine makes different elements, and that's where we get to the periodic table. So I know I'm not here, but behind my desk, you guys see all the periodic table stuff, and there's, oh, it's even right here behind me. Where is it? Okay, the periodic table, you see all these letters? That has to do with different elements. So an element, here's what I'll read it and then I'll tell you what I want you guys to write down. An element is pure substance that is made from a single type of atom. Single type. No two elements have the same amount of protons. So on the periodic table, if you guys are looking at it right now, the top left number on my table, they're all different. One says 1, I see one that says 40, one that says 41. That top bold number on the top left, they all have different numbers because they all have a unique amount of protons, which are positively charged and located in the center. That's called the atomic number. The atomic number is how many protons there are, okay? So if they have 6 protons, they're going to have a 6 in their corner, and it'll be specifically called, I'm trying to find 6, carbon. So carbon specifically has 6 protons. No two elements have the same amount of protons. So an element is a pure substance. Of course, okay? So here's like the periodic table, and we'll practice this a lot. Today your overall goal is to be at a yellow on the parts of an atom. The element part, if you don't have it exact, that's okay. So maybe be at a low yellow. But the periodic table, elements are a pure substance. The top is the atomic number, aka proteins. The symbol is that letter. The name of the element is there, and then the bottom is called the atomic mass, what the mass or weight of it is. The atomic number here is the number of protons, like we said, but little hint, trick, protons and electrons are always equal. So if oxygen has 8 protons right here, that means it also has 8 electrons. So protons and electrons are equal. And the amount of protons are here, but aka it's also telling you the amount of electrons. So that's called the atomic number. Atomic number. The atomic mass. We all think about a mass. If I wanted my mass, I would add up the mass of all my parts and total them. That will give me my overall mass. We're going to do this, but do you happen to remember what part of an atom I said hardly weighs anything? That's the electron, so they don't even get included in the mass. So mass is the amount of protons plus neutrons. Because there are protons, neutrons, and electrons, if you remember. But electrons we don't even count because they don't really, they're so tiny. They have no mass pretty much that we don't even include them. So this is this. The reason I have such a long number, a little fun fact, is because depending on isotopes, and I'll get to that later, no atom weighs the exact same. So it's an average of all the oxygen elements out there. This number is an average of all of them. So sometimes they're a little more than 15.999. Sometimes they're a little less. So quick review, looking at a periodic table squares, okay? The top is the atomic number. The atomic number is the amount of protons. Can also be the amount of electrons because they are the same amount in every atom. Protons and electrons are always the same. Protons are positive, electrons are negative. Protons are in the nucleus, electrons are on the outside. Little review. The upper middle is the symbol that represents it. You'll learn way more about that in 9th grade when you got to memorize them. The name of the element. And then the bottom is the atomic mass. The atomic mass is protons plus neutrons. It's the mass of the atom or of the element. Please remember that you will have to know this. We're going to focus on the parts of an atom first, but I will review this. Remember your goal today, everyone. I'm giving you a lot of information, and I know I'm not there. Your goal is to get to a yellow on this stuff, especially on the parts of an atom. So this is a two-parter. The first part of the notes are parts of an atom. This part is, element and periodic table. I do want you to get this whole screen down in your notes. Remember, you guys can do a fold out if you run out. So now, if I can get this to work, the rest of class, okay, so you guys, we're going to do some practice of atomic mass later, so you can practice figuring it out, but we're going to do that later, so don't worry about the last 2 slides. The last thing I want to say before my time runs out is, A, I miss you guys, but please know that now I'd like you to put this all through, red, yellow, green, think, study for a few minutes. That's what Think, Pair, Share is. Quietly, by yourself, think. Feel free to take a little brain break if you guys have time. And then on the left side of your ISN, I'd like everyone to write a 5 to 7 sentence summary. Meaning if you had to explain today's lesson in only 5 to 7 sentences to a 5th grader, What is the important stuff? Summarize it, memory tricks. You can choose to do a 20-word gist, but it can only be 20 words. So that's actually a little harder than a regular summary. So right side is the notes from